The 60% keyboard market just got better than ever before, because the days of everyone using a Ducky 2 1 Mini may finally be over, as everyone's now upgrading to either the Apex Pro Mini or the Wooting 60HE, as both of these keyboards are considered the fastest ones out at the minute. So I thought it'd be interesting to make a video comparing the both and to find out which one you should go for. But quick disclaimer, this comparison video will just be comparing the switch speed, the software, the features and the price. Unfortunately, I can't compare other things that require a touch/feel, as I don't have both keyboards in front of me. So certain things like the keyboard quality I cannot compare, but other things I can, like the switches to start off with. The Apex Pro Mini uses Omnipoint 2.0 switches that have two main features. The first is the 2-in-1 action keys. This allows you to program two actions to a single key depending on how you press it, which means you can basically create your own combo by binding two actions onto one key, then activating them by pressing the key at different depths. The second feature is adjustable actuation. This allows you to set a specific actuation depth on the keys, from the lowest one, which is 3.8, to the highest one, which is 0.2, which by the way is 2 times as faster than the Apex Pro 10 key less used to be. That used to have a 0.4 as its highest, but now it's 0.2. Whereas with the Wooting 60HE, this uses Lekker Switches, which have 4 main features. The first feature is analog input. This is quite unique to the Wooting because with every key press you make on the Lekker Switch, you get full analog style movement, which basically turns your keyboard into a controller natively. So in games like Fortnite, you can get double movement straight off the bat, or in driving games, you can use your keyboard without having a controller, again thanks to that native analog input. The second feature is adjustable actuation. This allows you to set a specific actuation depth from the lowest one, which is 4.0, to the highest one or fastest one, which is 0.1. The third feature is rapid fire. This is toggleable software that allows you to adjust the actuation and deactivation point to make the keyboard even faster with every key press you make. The lower and the higher the sensitivity is, the slower or faster that will happen. You can also bind a specific bind to actually do this. So for example, like edit in Fortnite, to make your edits even faster thanks to the rapid trigger feature. And for the fourth feature, this is also toggleable software, which is called Tachyon. This allows you to instantly optimize the input speed of your keyboard from up to like 20 ms. As when you activate the Tachyon mode, this basically puts your keyboard into overdrive. It disables things like RGB, which is colors on your keyboard, to reduce latency and make the overall keyboard faster than ever before. If we compare the switch speed between the two keyboards though, I think the Wooting keyboard beats the Apex Pro Mini by having 2 extra features. That's obviously the rapid fire mode and the Tachyon mode. The Wooting also actually beats the Apex at switch speed too, as it has a 0.1 faster actuation point, whereas the Apex has a 0.2. And I know that's quite minute and it probably won't make the difference to a lot of people out there, but it is technically faster. Next up, we've got the software comparison. The Apex Pro Mini keyboard uses the Steelseries Engine, and inside of this software right here, you can see you can remap keybinds, you can add meta bindings, which allow you to add a second function to a key. You can also adjust the actuation point, so if you're in gaming, you can set it to the fastest one, which is 0.2, or when you're typing or doing something else on your PC, you can set it to the lowest, which is 3.8. You've also got dual bindings, you've got dual activation, which these both are relating to the 2-1 action keys I mentioned earlier. And then finally, you've got the settings where you can change the RGB effects for all the keyboard or each key, and you can like do different patterns and stuff like that. Just the standard stuff you would expect on a keyboard. Whereas with the Wooting 60HE, this keyboard uses the Wootility software, which is actually available on browser as well as a downloadable desktop app. So you've also got the browser version and you've got the desktop app as well. But inside of this software right here, you've got a ton of different tabs. You've got the color tab that allows you to create RGB effects. You can change the brightness and customize like each key to do different RGB-ness stuff. You've also got the performance tab, which allows you to set the actuation point from, again, the fastest one, which is 0.1, to the lowest one, which is 4.0. So if you're gaming or typing or whatever, you can change that accordingly. You've got the rapid fire mode that allows you to actually enable it, and inside of that you can change the sensitivity to make that rapid fire faster or slower, whichever you desire. You've got the Tachyon mode too, which once you do enable it or turn it on, that will optimize your keyboard and reduce your ms to make your keyboard faster than ever before. And then finally, you've got the remap tab, which allows you to basically remap any keybind. But if we compare both softwares right here, guys, I honestly think the Wootility software is way better. The UI is easier to access, as you can literally use a browser. You don't need to download the app if you don't want to. It's also easier to use. Everything is right in front of you, laid out really nicely. And as well as that, each customizability that you can make is actually really simplified. Like, There's sliders, you don't have to type in numbers, anything like that. You can literally drag and drop the keybind icons as well under the remap section, which I really love. Like, that is so easy to use. And it's even got a dark and light feature, which I myself am really a fan of that detail. It could just be me though. Next, we've got the other main keyboard features. The Apex Pro Mini looks like this on screen. It's obviously very similar to other 60% keyboards out there, so it doesn't really have a lot of uniqueness in terms of a look, which I wish it honestly did. But for the features, it uses double shot PBT keycaps, which are very high quality. It's got height adjustable tilted legs, and it's also got a USB-C cable. Whereas the Wooting 60HE looks like this on screen. As you can see, again, it looks very similar to other 60% keyboards out there, but what I like about the Wooting is it's got a bit of uniqueness at the bottom right there, where you can obviously see the logo, and then it's like sort of slanted down. I just think that's a really cool stealthy look, and it does make it a little bit different in a market where all the keyboards look pretty much the same. As well as that, the Wooting keyboard also comes with this yellow strap, which is very unique and actually useful for carrying around. Say if you go to a LAN event or you're just transporting your keyboard somewhere else, I imagine that strap will be very, very useful. But in terms of the features, this also uses double shot PBT keycaps, but unfortunately it's only for a certain layout, which I believe is like ANSI or something like that, like the American one. It doesn't have height adjustable legs, but it does have this universal tray mount that it looks like it is already height adjusted, as if you've already put the legs up, for example. That's actually got some pretty cool flexibility with what you can do with it too, as you can see on screen. And then it also does have a USB-C cable as well. But if we compare the two keyboards here in terms of features, I have to give the win here to Apex Pro Mini, because with this one having PBT like keycaps available for every model and not just specific layouts, I think that's really good, and that's the extra mile. Obviously, if they've got more budget, I imagine they can do so a lot easier than Wooting can. Having the height adjustable legs too is really good. A lot of people like to adjust their height, and they don't like it just already height adjusted to begin with. But I do have to give Wooting some credit here, because that tray mount that they've actually included is super customizable, as you can see on screen. And to be fair, a lot of people do like their keyboard already height adjusted, so it does work, but I just have to give Apex Pro the win in this regard, to be honest. Moving on though, guys, we now have the price comparison. Now, starting off with the Apex Pro, the price is pretty expensive, I am not going to lie. As you can see, you've got two different models. You've got the Apex Pro Mini that comes in at £175, and that isn't wireless, it just has the standard features. But if we go over to the Apex Pro Mini wireless, that comes in at £220, and that does come with the 2.4 gigahertz and Bluetooth 5.0 wireless connection as well, and you obviously get a cable too, so you can make it wide if you want to. But if we go over to the Wooting, you can see that the price comes in at nearly €180, which I think if you actually convert the price, I think it's very similar to the pricing of the Apex Pro Mini. I think it's like £180, give or take, to be fair. So it's basically priced the same as the Apex Pro Mini in that regard. But overall, guys, to summarize this video, honestly, they're both amazing keyboards. The Apex Pro Mini in itself obviously does have an advantage because it's backed by a massive company, which is Steelseries. They've got more budget, they can put a lot more money into the build quality and the testing, all of this stuff. But you have to give massive respect to Wooting. What they've made under their budget is crazy. Like, they've made the fastest keyboard out there right now. They've crammed in a ton of other cool features like analog keys and just so much more, and they've made it really, really affordable, or affordable enough to compete with the big boys such as Steelseries. So overall, guys, whichever keyboard you do end up getting, I think you will be impressed. But for me, I think I'm personally going to go with the Wooting 60HE. Guys, whichever keyboard you decide to go with, let me know in the comment section below. I'll have links to both keyboards in there as well. But that's all got for now. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.